Hi, so today I want to describe for myself what I currently realize are my own responsibilities. I thought it'd be an interesting thing, so here goes. Um, all the reactions and the tit for tat, give and take dynamics of blame and uh, generally blaming all my negative emotions on everything and everyone except for myself. And what else? Everything that I experience in every moment of breath is kind of partly, it's like you cannot deny that. It's like I cannot deny that I am a participant, just as negative stuff is thrown at me. I also have a responsibility for the consequences when I throw that negative stuff out into the world, sort of deal. And what else is my responsibility? Well, the obvious ones, which are like the amount of money that I make and all the difficulties or challenges that I face at my work. Those are all my own responsibilities. And my mood 24/7, like constantly, continuously, as like a living realization, I'm fully responsible for how I respond in every breath, in every moment. And it's like every moment is neatly organized by a 1+1 breath, first breath, then second breath, etc. And no matter what happens in my external world or what I discover about other people or anything outside of my mind and somewhat physically manifested in the physical reality, I have the freedom and the responsibility to take responsibility for how I respond to all this unpredictable physical reality playouts. And what else is my responsibility? Maintaining personal hygiene, I guess, is is like a physical, practical responsibility. Maintaining my body's health through moderate exercise and just going off on a tangent. Uh, Exercise, what I found is you don't have to always push so hard when you exercise. And having that flexibility of going harder when you feel like it and going softer when you don't feel like it, it really has it's really beneficial to my long-term strategy of exercise to maintain my mental capacity, let's say. And what else is my responsibility? Oh, how attraction. All instances and examples where I am attracted to someone or something is indicating to me uh, something that a word that or a few words that I believe myself to be inferior to, but I see fully manifest in another or something or someone else. And amongst this attraction phenomenon, um, it holds and hides an aspect of competition, of the inferior wanting to become superior, of the superior protecting himself from being inferior. Like that. Oh, and another responsibility is when I go into the master mentality or mindset, because it's really interesting how when let's say I I call myself and regard myself as an expert in X thing, then whenever I do that thing, I would sort of take for granted all the progress that I made and expect something nearly perfect from myself. And when it's not perfect, being in a master mentality makes me resist admitting to myself that, oh, maybe I've gone in the wrong direction, or maybe the decision wasn't the best. So, in that sense, the beginner's mindset is very archetypal, very fundamental, very important practicality, very important practicality to always identify with and be empathetic towards the beginner and beginners, so that it's in full circle where you recognize the beginner as yourself, and you also recognize the beginner in others, so that your creation is real. Because if you only give it to yourself and you don't give it to the other, that also uh, goes contrary and kind of like opposes your or my original intent to change, for example. And what else is my responsibility? How I feel or react when I listen to music. Music is a funny one because at the moment, nobody is recognizing that music has become sexualized innuendo, and all the popular music has a sexual connotation to it, and we don't want to admit that music teachers, for the sake of profit, are not teaching their students properly and trying to do the most, trying to earn the most with least effort. And uh, it's like music is another world. It's because music is like stimulation. It is stimulation. And I myself had to realize that profound music is merely an experience stimulated through notes and pitch and rhythm, and that's that. And which is why these days, like I take the responsibility to listen to, let's call it, self-improvement material as much as I can. And my main source for that has been EQAF, EQAFE. And for the unlimited subscription, it's a very good deal. And it deals with aspects of the human condition and the human living lifestyle in a way that I've never seen or heard before in the publisher controlled circle of self-improvement authors. So I don't really care if it's really Anu, the reptilian, or whoever. I tend to want to see if what they say I can apply and apply for myself, for my own inner peace, for my own greater effectiveness, etc., etc. And what else is my responsibility? Mm, um, I guess my future. Like, yeah, I'm responsible for my own future because the same or similar situations that I get into, or the repeating patterns that play out over time, they're all pointing to me as the sole director of my own future. And it's been said before that fear of the future is, in a way, fear of yourself, your own true, uninhibited nature. And I'm in the process of changing my uninhibited nature so that it's like fear of the future becomes one of my references. So if I fear or worry or am concerned about when I go into situations or when I um, am immersed in a certain specific environment, then that's my reference telling me that I haven't sorted out everything in relation to that yet. And I should be writing about it or forgiving myself about it. And that's that. And what else is my own responsibility? my I'm I'm solely responsible for my own hi-fi headphone earphone addiction, and it's, it just utterly fascinates me how in a world with money and in a world where money can be exchanged for a huge range of addictions. It's like purses can be your addiction, backpacks can be your addiction, glasses, anything and everything. And my addictions happen to be hi-fi and headphones and earphones. But you can, but I can replace that with anything of this physical reality, and the pattern is the same. And so over time, I notice how my own inner insecurities and inferiorities would lock me into a certain specific pattern of spending. And with my hi-fi addiction, for example, over a period of, I say, 3 to 5 years, I spent a lot more than I should have on hi-fi. And every time I spent a little bit more, it was based on the fear of not having a, a, a good experience with what I already have. And that's an interesting point and an interesting pattern. Because like whenever I or a person is introduced to a new hobby, the first question they would ask is, what is the best? But having walked the path that I have in hi-fi, I realized that the best doesn't exist because hi-fi and a lot of things boil down to, will you be satisfied? Are you satisfied? Are you getting what you want from it, sort of deal? And 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 it's not so much the hi-fi purchases themselves were detrimental. It's more like my own inner insecurities and um, greed for more, for a better performance or a better sound, that that insecurity and that fear in a way drove me to always spend a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more and more and more. And what else? What else is my responsibility? Um, what I eat every single day. And I mean, there is a responsibility to diet because, I mean, you're putting it in your mouth. So it's got to be my responsibility. And I've exhausted I've exhausted my definition of responsibility. This will be a time capsule in terms of the responsibilities that I understand today. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.